Howdy, this is Johnny with Montrose Photography, and today we're taking a look at the Opteka 85mm 1.8. Okay, this lens is extremely inexpensive at around $100 with an adapter, and of course we'll be testing it on the Sony mirrorless system. It is natively a Canon EF mount lens, but we won't hold that against it. This particular lens has a screw-on filter, but the cap fits into the filter. It does not fit onto the lens, so it takes up a lot of room in your bag, which is stupid. If it had a regular cap, that's all the bigger it would be. Listen to that. Very clicky, but it works pretty smoothly. It's not bad. There was a little bit of oil on the top side of the aperture blades on mine when I bought it, new from the factory, but that's not really that big of a deal, especially when you're talking about a lens that is so extraordinarily cheap. It is very sharp, and the colors are quite good. I'll show you some test shots here, but there is one huge major flaw with this particular lens, and that is that it suffers really quite badly from chromatic aberration. Now, if you're not shooting in high contrast backlit areas, you might not ever notice that. So if you shoot primarily indoors and you're using the 1.8 aperture because of the need of low light, you might not have a problem with that. One thing of note is that the focus ring is pretty stiff. It can actually get a little stuck at the one end, but it's not bad. To use it, it's not really a problem, but it is pretty stiff and it makes a little bit of noise, so be aware of that. Here we are at our beautiful, beautiful bokeh tree. We're at minimum focus length, and the tree is about 7 to 8 feet away. Looking up into the sky. You can see it's not the world's best bokeh, it's not the worst either, it's pretty unobtrusive. It is nice when you get things focused in close. Rack something far away, kind of nice. Bottom line on this guy, there is nothing that I've found anyways that will give you a good 85mm and especially low light 85mm in this sort of price point. There are certainly better contenders, but most of them will be 2 to 3 times this price at 85mm, especially if you want a 1.8, 1.7, 1.4, whatever. Even f2 is pretty pricey in the 85mm range. So what is this lens for? I think this lens is for someone who doesn't have an 85mm or needs a 1.8, needs something that'll really let some light in. They're going to shoot someplace indoors, hopefully where there's not a lot of fast action, because they'll probably miss it with 1.8 85mm on a manual focus for sure. Do I recommend this lens? It really depends on where you're at. If you don't have very many lenses for your camera, your mirrorless system, whatever, and you need an 85, this is going to fit the bill until you can afford something better. If you can afford something better, I would recommend that. For me, I've used this lens quite a bit, primarily only shooting indoors at the theater, trying to get pictures of the actors while they're on stage, because it's just about the right focal length, and it tends to separate them out a little bit, being 1.8. However, it's just a little bit short for me, so I actually have a replacement for it. This guy, the Minolta 100mm f2.5. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, it is not a 1.8. However, it is, for me, a better focal length, and holy goodness, this lens is amazing. I'll do a review on it eventually. So for me, this guy is finally, after over a year of using it, going on eBay. Really, for the price, there's nothing that you can possibly get that's going to give you results anywhere similar. Even in the very used and very old lens market, 85mm tends to be a little bit more expensive. So until next time, have fun and enjoy the shoot.